Single dad saved his drunk boss from trouble. The next day, she didn't pretend to forget. Some moments test who you really are, especially when no one is watching. One late night, a single dad faced a choice that could have changed his life forever: walk away from his boss in her worst moment, or step in with kindness when it mattered most. What happened next wasn't just unexpected. It was life-changing. Before we begin, if you enjoy real, emotional stories that restore your faith in humanity, please take a moment to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps Heartfelt Moments continue bringing you stories that matter. Mark Wilson never planned to be anyone's hero. At 36, he was just trying to survive. A single dad living in a small Ohio town, Mark worked as a night supervisor at a mid-sized logistics company. The job wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. More importantly, it helped him take care of the one person who mattered most, his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Lily had been his world ever since her mother passed away 3 years earlier. Every morning, Mark packed her lunch, tied her shoelaces, and reminded her to be kind to others, even when life felt unfair. At night, after long shifts, he read her bedtime stories, fighting exhaustion just to see her smile. His boss, Amanda Reed, was known as tough. She was sharp, driven, and intimidating. People whispered that she climbed the corporate ladder by never showing weakness. To Mark, she was professional and distant, not unkind, but never warm either. That Friday night, Mark finished a double shift. It was close to midnight when he stepped out of the office building and headed toward the parking garage. He just wanted to get home, check on Lily, who was staying with a neighbor, and sleep. Then he heard someone crying. The sound stopped him cold. Near the far corner of the garage, under flickering lights, a woman sat on the curb, her heels kicked off, her head buried in her hands. An empty bottle lay nearby. As Mark stepped closer, his stomach dropped. It was Amanda. Her hair was messy, makeup smudged, and she was clearly drunk. She tried to stand when she saw him but stumbled, nearly falling into a concrete pillar. "Hey," Mark said gently, instinct taking over. "You okay?" She laughed bitterly, wiping her face. "Does it look like I'm okay?" Mark hesitated. This was his boss. The woman who evaluated his performance. The woman who controlled his schedule. Walking away would have been easier. No one would blame him. But then he thought of Lily. Of the lessons he tried to teach her every day. Kindness isn't about who deserves it. It's about who needs it. "Let me help you," he said. Amanda tried to protest, slurring that she was fine, but Mark could tell she wasn't. She admitted she'd had too much to drink after a brutal day, a failed deal, pressure from higher-ups, and news that her recent divorce was turning uglier than expected. Mark didn't judge. He didn't lecture. He just listened. He helped her into his car, buckled her seatbelt, and drove her home, making sure she got inside safely. He even placed a glass of water and pain reliever on her kitchen counter before quietly leaving. Amanda barely remembered saying thank you. The next morning, Mark woke up to Lily jumping on his bed, laughing. Life moved on. The night felt unreal, like something that happened in a dream. At work, Mark kept his head down. He assumed Amanda would either forget everything, or worse, feel embarrassed and act colder than ever. Then around noon, he got an email. Subject line: "Please come to my office." His heart raced. He imagined every worst-case scenario. Was he in trouble? Had he crossed a line? When he knocked and stepped inside, Amanda stood up. She looked different. Calm. Clear-eyed. Human. "Mark," she said softly. "Please sit." She took a breath. "I remember last night." Mark froze. "I remember everything," she continued. "And I need you to know something. You didn't have to help me. You could have walked away. But you didn't." Her voice cracked. "No one has shown me that kind of kindness in a long time." Mark didn't know what to say. Amanda straightened, regaining composure, but her eyes stayed warm. I won't pretend I forgot. And I won't pretend it didn't matter. She thanked him, genuinely. Then she surprised him even more. She told him she'd noticed his work ethic, his consistency, the way other employees trusted him. She admitted she'd been so focused on results that she'd overlooked people. That day, Amanda adjusted his schedule so he could spend more time with Lily. A month later, she recommended him for a promotion that came with better pay and flexible hours. But the biggest change wasn't the promotion. It was the culture. Amanda became different, more approachable, more understanding. She started asking employees how they were doing, not just what they were producing. And when someone struggled, she remembered how one quiet single dad had shown her grace when she was at her lowest. Mark never told Lily the full story. He just hugged her a little tighter and reminded her that being kind always matters, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient. Years later, Lily would say her dad was her hero. Mark would just smile and say, I was just doing what felt right. Because sometimes, one act of kindness doesn't just change a moment. It changes lives. So if you ever wonder whether your kindness matters, remember this. You may never know how deeply your compassion can echo in someone else's story. And maybe, just maybe, the world becomes better, one small, brave act at a time.